The timing in this movie, like, to be totally honest, has gotta be some of the craziest possibly you could have. And you gotta kind of worry, wonder, hope if they're trying to soft launch something with this. But nah, they wouldn't do that, I think. Disclosure Day was directed by Steven Spielberg and it has a score by John Williams. It stars Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, and more. In this movie, a man who works for a shadow company decides to release the secrets to the public that they have been keeping quiet. But when this coincides with a strange incident involving a Kansas City reporter, more webs are untangled, secrets are shown, and there may be more to this that must be kept in the dark. I went into seeing Disclosure Day not with really knowing much about it. I deliberately didn't watch most of the trailers. It was kind of kept under wraps during production anyway, so I went in blind. I think that's the best way to watch this movie because it is pretty much probably going to be something that you didn't expect it to be, or it's going to have a lot of things that you yourself weren't anticipating. And off rip, the movie gets right into what's going on with the action. It doesn't stall. It doesn't like waste its time. It happens within like the first 2 minutes of the movie. You understand that there are stakes involved in it because it has a lot of characters it has to go between to tell multiple stories that need to all culminate in the end for this conclusion of what's going to happen. Let me just tell you right off the bat, though, if you think this is some sort of like War of the Worlds style movie, this is not like that. This is more akin to Close Encounters, but even then, that's more of a cousin film to this than I would say that it is a sister film. This is still a very original identity. It has some cool concepts that I won't spoil for you here, that it explores and original ideas that we've not seen Spielberg really work with before. When it comes to performances, Emily Blunt is amazing in this movie. Right now, after the actress from Obsession, this is my number two pick for Best Actress. Emily Blunt has so much to do in this movie. Something happens to her, and because of that, she has to play a role that constantly is switching, and she has to constantly be in so many different emotional headspaces, and she conveys that so really and humanly and compellingly. She steals every scene she's in, no matter who she's with. And if it cuts back to her from a previous scene, you are more engaged with her because of the way she can get into this performance and the way she sinks her teeth into it. And she has so much expression in this movie. Josh O'Connor is our other lead. He's essentially a Snowden style character in here. And I found him compelling and relatable. He's very good. He does his job. Colin Firth is the antagonist because I really want to be clear here and not use the word villain because I don't believe that's what he is. He is very interesting to see. But more importantly, I think the thing that makes him the most entertaining to watch is this conflict that you can even see within him that begins to rise and resolve itself later. As for the John Williams score, he's 94. He still has it. This isn't some booming Star Wars score, if that's what you think, but this is like an ambient, ominous, mystical score. You'll remember keys and cues from it, but it's not because it's booming or loud. There are some during some action sequences, but I think it really is a fantastic compliment. It's a fantastic accent to this film. It helps to really sell you into this world. Something I loved about this movie a lot was genuinely the script. It is so well written. It has the right kind of commentary without being force fed. It asks questions, it gives answers, and leaves some things unresolved, which I think were brave, brave choices. The movie deals with this issue of disclosure in a very unique way and a very compelling way at that. It's not the typical movie that you would think it is. I will actually say this is more of a chase film with also a sense of government cover up and then some alien revelation. And I think it's careful with how much to tell you and show you about those aliens. Something else about this movie is this feels very much like a movie. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love it so much is while it feels real and while I can see parallels to the real things that we go through, where the world's at and where it's trying to send this message, it keeps itself in this realm where you can still feel you're watching something, you're watching magic. The camera even in here, because again, Spielberg is a master of blocking, is nothing short of just absolutely beautiful. And I love this movie's style of editing. It keeps this pace going and you don't get bored throughout it. And it's very intentional with what it decides to show or cut away from or linger on or even suggest. The movie's not perfect by any means. I will say there are certain aspects to it I'm not a big fan of. I think there was a certain thing that is introduced that kind of becomes MacGuffinish, especially during the third act of the film. I think that there are a few things also that are introduced that could have been cooler or scenes that could have been just like a little more fleshed out that we didn't fully get a full I feel compelling or satisfying resolution to or could have gone on a little bit more, but In spite of that, I don't think those are major things against the movie. This movie does what it sets out to do, and it really is something that is a story about humanity and our place, and it asks questions that I think are both intelligent, but they're also, in a weird way, fun ones to think about. This movie genuinely was a theatrical experience. Steven Spielberg is showing and proving to us that he still has what it takes to make a great movie. He still has some creativity. Him and this great script by David Koepp. It is so good. I can't recommend this enough. Go see Disclosure Day on the big screen. It is something that genuinely will entertain you. It's thought provoking, but it also takes you back, I think, to a different time of movie making that thankfully we still are able to get through directors like Spielberg. Enjoy it. Get some popcorn. It's worth a watch. I'm going to give Disclosure Day an 8.5 out of 10. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next time.